folks say about they're amazed, obviously, by the American political process. What are you hearing tonight? What are you reading?
Well, let's just cut to the chase. Assuming, and that's what we're talking about, that he does win, people I'm speaking to think it's absolutely catastrophic. That it's catastrophic for the United States, that it's catastrophic for our position in the world. It emboldens our enemies and adversaries. It makes our allies terrified that we're not going to be their allies anymore. Most people think that this type of scenario happens. That if you imagine the United States as a nuclear warship, we stop. We become totally focused on our own domestic politics, that he's going to provoke a constitutional crisis, he's going to get into a fight with the Supreme Court, there'll be attempts to impeach him, and that for 6 months to a year or longer, we will be navel-gazing, we will not be leading the world, and other powers, Russia, China, adjust around us.
He has called our generals stupid. He has advocated.
Let me tell you, tonight the general is reading the Constitution.
I'm sorry, say again?
General, I've been talking to generals for a long time. They've been reading the Constitution to see what they are obligated to do. If they are really ordered to round up and deport millions of Americans and put them on buses or trains, do they have to do that? The president is the commander-in-chief. That's the stage what we're talking about. It's, do they have to follow what they would believe would be an immoral and illegal order? So you have to look at this as a transformative event with America's role, not just domestically, but internationally.
Let me throw this at you. The national intelligence, the White House, everyone has agreed that the Russians have taken an active role in this election. Because it's a political thing, it sometimes gets overlooked. But that's if you take this election out of the equation and Russians interfering with any American process, it's a frightening picture.
Well, if you look at the world, right? We used to live in a world with two great superpowers. And with the collapse of the Soviet Union, we're now left with the United States being the only remaining superpower. Well, that has its advantages and its disadvantages. The advantages, and also its disadvantage, that no other state can do as much harm to you as you can do to yourself, right? And it seems to be that that is what the United States is doing right now. And Russia, as the last superpower, decided that a way to regain its empire, to regain its position in the world, was to help undermine the political system. And I've been to Russia, I've spoken to hackers there, we've spoken to intelligence communities. They had no doubt that Russia was deeply involved in helping to undermine Hillary Clinton. They also expect that Russia has been stockpiling information on Trump. Clearly, Trump has done a lot of business there. He's an easier target. We know, and we've talked about all the scandals. So wouldn't it make sense that if Russia now would want to unleash all of the material that has been...
We don't know that to be the
That's
case.
speculative, but not based on my speculation. Yeah. That's based on speculation of people who've been examining this, including cyber experts who have been investigating Russia's role, that they have material on Trump, that it would behoove them to unleash it in order to hobble him, in order to hobble us, in order to hobble the only remaining
All
superpower.
Russia cares about is us staying out of their way.
Imagine
right?
us.
This is what they want.
We're a nuclear ship. Yeah. We stop. Steam comes out of the middle. Russia, China, they do what they want. Russia, speaking of ships, has just moved its ship off the coast of Syria and is expected to start bounding Aleppo tomorrow, eastern Aleppo. Do you think we're going to be talking about that?
Do we know what his plan? He's talked about a plan in Syria.
I'm sorry. Because the Chinese have got military stuff going on as well, Lester. They're moving out of China across the South China Seas and into the Middle East. I mean, they've got a whole pathway going there at that point.
If we make ourselves irrelevant, others will step into the gap.
Yeah. What are they saying in Turkey, and what are they saying in Israel, and what are they saying in the Middle East about what happens in that cauldron of the world right now?
Well, can I tell you something? I wasn't surprised by this outcome. I actually thought this was going to happen because it fits a trend. And you're seeing this trend in Turkey, in the Philippines, in Egypt, with Brexit, where you're having, even in Iceland, where you're having right-wing or fringe candidates emerging to the forefront. It's been a pattern. And where you have these populist leaders who are effectively doing what they want, appealing directly to the people, of going through social media, going through the television. And okay, if this happens in the Philippines, it's bad for that country. If it happens to the United States, it's terrible for everybody. So that's what they're seeing. They're seeing it as this part of this larger pattern of fringe candidates and right wing.
This is upbeat.
Yeah.
I don't mean to be like, I'm sitting here, you're painting a frightening picture, Richard, and I
wish I wasn't. I was
want
driving
to go back to what Savannah said, which is the way to the office. Will it